Hey, everybody. How is it going? How's everybody doing? Mike Davenport, Chevy Dude here. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. First and foremost, Tanner, how you doing? Corey, leave the cat alone. Dog's just down here attacking the cat. So how's everybody doing? I'll make sure you can hear me just fine. I haven't done live. Jess, music channel, how are you guys doing? So make sure you share this stream. I'm going to talk about how to, boom, I think Tom is the first one. Good job, Tom. I think you won. I will have to go back and edit and audit my chats, make sure there's nothing else out there. But because I do have it on top chat, live chat. Yeah, we're good. So sweet. Jesse, thank you. Music channel. So you're very welcome. I need to know how to share this over on my Facebook. So bear with me. I'm just going to let a few people get on here. And we're going to talk about how, Trey, nice thank you from Louisville here. It's nice to know that I got some Louisville people on here. So we're going to talk about how to buy a car in under 20 minutes from any dealer at all. So there's a way to do it. I've specialized in this for years. I mean, truly, to be honest with you, to be really frank about it, is that I don't want to spend a lot of time with people. The more people I can talk to, the more cars I can sell, right? I don't say that in a rude or egotistical manner. It's just strictly the way it is. You know, the car business has changed so much in the past 18 years that I have bought it, that I have been in it. So, and really a lot of the change is good. So the big change is that it's easier for you, the consumer, to get information. So, let's take window stickers for an example. So that's called the Moroni sticker. The technical name is Moroni sticker. And the reason we have that out there is because thieves, dealership employees, thieves back in, I don't even know when it was. It could have been in the 60s. It could have been in the 50s. It could have been in the 70s. I don't know when that happened off the top of my head. I know I've looked it up many, many times. But San Fernando, California, Cincinnati, Ohio. Hello. So those came out because the car business needed to be regulated. Well, congratulations, car business, you got regulated because we had a bunch of thieves. And that still carries over today. People still hate car salesmen, which is why I love doing my YouTube channel, because I'm trying to show people buying a car doesn't have to suck. And also that there are more good people selling cars than there are bad people. Just a very few people sit there and make the car business a bad name. So that's why we have window stickers, Moroni stickers, because simply speaking, the car business is full of mediocre salespeople and people who are just basically skating by and making an income. And then you have a big group of people who are professional like myself and who want to go out there and help people and make this a career, right? And those mediocre people typically jump from dealership to dealership to dealership to dealership. They don't stay in one place a long time, and they don't care about the customer. They only care about the next commission check. So with that being said, if you asked a salesman who jumps dealership to dealership to dealership, hey, what's the mileage per gallon on this car? And he says, oh, maybe 32, and it really gets 22. You have no way of credibility of that number. You take that for granted until you get in and start putting gas in it, right? So that's where the Moroni sticker comes in place, is we have factual information on the window sticker, and it's a federally mandated window sticker. So to buy a car in under 20 minutes, we'll give you a few tips, and this is how much notes, since I've wrote notes on the last vlog, these are the notes that I have wrote on this subject, because I feel very, very confident I can just go off the cuff of my head. And if I see a comment or a super chat comment, for sure, any super chat comment I will definitely address. But if I can read all these comments that are popping up over here, Appleton, Wisconsin, Tyler, how's it going? Boston, Joe F., Boston in the house. Love the city of Boston. Great place. San Fernando, I said hello to you. So so I'm going to go off completely off the top of my head. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them over there. If I see them, I will go over them. If I don't see them, I'll come over through the night and whatnot and answer them through texting back on your. What is your record time for selling a car? Well, I do, Tanner, I do so many car deals, not in the business. So, not inside the dealership. But I mean, literally, I've had people walk in and like, they've got something printed out. And they're like, hey, I want this car right here. And the deal's done. So it's that simple sometimes. So under 20 minutes, how to buy a car under 20 minutes at any dealership in the country. Obviously, we have all these resources now. This is what I talked about right at the beginning. All these resources now, as you as a consumer make easy decisions on buying a car. So I made this comment one time of, and I got roasted a little bit, which I can handle. It doesn't affect me when some people sit there and start doing hate messages or I'll never buy from your dealership, stuff like that. That stuff really doesn't affect me too much because you got to realize that it could be a 12-year-old kid or a guy from Africa or wherever that they're never going to buy a car from me anyway. So that's kind of the way I look at it, and just kind of way you got to look at trolls on YouTube. So the fact of the matter is, I made a comment that says, hey, I don't want to talk to anybody who walks through that front door because they're most likely not buying a car. And the reason I said that, to give it a little bit more credibility and to make sure you understand that that's not an egotistical comment or a rude comment or a condescending comment in any way, shape, or form, it strictly goes off of, I want to talk with people who have done their research, who are make it easy to purchase a car or for me to sell a car, and then I can help you purchase a car very simply as well. So with that being said, the reason I want to work with people who call or email or text and stuff like that is strictly because you've done your research. Now, when you are looking at all sorts of things out there, let's use TrueCar. TrueCar is a great website. It's a great way to utilize as a consumer that you can build the car. One tip on TrueCar is you got to make sure that you can look for your car. You don't go crazy on options. Let's use a Silverado, for example. A typical Silverado that's built right now is an LT model, crew cab, 4-wheel drive. This is my area in Louisville. So a crew cab LT 4-wheel drive is going to have a 5.3 liter engine. It's going to have an all-star edition package, and it's going to have trailer brake controller. Those 3 items and those 3 options. With that being said, you want to make sure you go to TrueCar and build the exact same car. So you don't want to sit there and start putting in, all these sensors and all this stuff and all this goofy stuff. And, the car is just simply not out there. So when you go to TrueCar and you build this car, they're going to typically tell you where you're at on invoice price. They're going to tell you what average local sale price is and stuff like that. So the next thing to do is you go to a dealership's website that you want to do business with. Here in Louisville, we have 21 Chevy dealers within 50 miles of my dealership. So the market is extremely saturated. So with my dealership, we publish our best price on new and used on the internet. So the price you see on the internet is the price you pay. I very rarely negotiate on it. What are you doing, dog? Oh, you're chasing a fly now. Corey's down here chasing a fly. So with that being said, the power of negotiating is very little because you have the tools and third-party tools that give all the truth to the matter. This is where I said earlier at the beginning of the video that buying a car is so much simpler than it was 10 and 15 and 20 years ago. So me coming into the car business, I came into the car business right before the internet in 2000. In 2001, I started my internet department at a Saturn dealership in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And my used car manager, I remember it like it happened yesterday. I was selling a Ford Explorer to a guy in Connecticut. And I remember this so vividly. So I'm talking to the guy. He says, hey, I gotta go. There's a bear in my backyard. I'm like, what? A bear? Are you kidding me? So lo and behold, he does buy this Ford Explorer after he shoos the bear out of his backyard, and he flies in with his son to purchase this Ford Explorer back in like 2001. So maybe 2002, somewhere in that time frame. So my manager's like, this guy's a scam. There's no way anybody's going to sit here and buy a car over the internet. How many Ford Explorers are between Connecticut and Fort Wayne, Indiana? So I don't know, but he's calling. And the reason he's calling is because he saw the information on there. So truck guy Joe, how's it going, buddy? So with that being said, he sat there and bought that car because it's available to him, because it's there, and he knew it was a good price. So that is what's happening today in 2018. Is the fact of the matter is you have all of this disposable information to you, and you know that you have a good price. So so that's one website that I would use a lot. So if you're looking at used cars, I would say look at Car Gurus. Cars.com. I think Auto Trader's doing it now. Edmunds is doing it. They all tell you everything you need to know about that used car. They tell you what price the dealership had it at, how long it's been on the website, if it's been on the website multiple times, if it's been at dealerships multiple times. It's got the Carfax there for you, all that good stuff. And so that's a huge thing too. And then most importantly, they give you a pricing analysis. They tell you where the car should be sold at, and they tell you that it's a great deal, a good deal, a fair deal, a bad deal, way overpriced. They tell you all that stuff. So if you're looking at something that's priced at a fair deal and it's been on the internet for single digit days, 10 days, something like that, the power of negotiation may not be in your favor. Like I said, I don't negotiate on my car deals because we price everything so dead on, because we have to. So, and I want to address Truck Guy Joe. I've met Joe multiple times. Phenomenal car salesman and truck salesman. He knows more about these trucks than I do, and he's probably laughed at a couple of things that I put on the internet with stuff that I do. But he does an awesome job up in Ohio, right? Yeah, Ohio. And Truck Guy Joe, thanks so much for that chat, super chat. But and he delivers trucks all over the country as well, just like I do. So with these used cars, and you're looking at Car Gurus and True Car and Edmunds and all that stuff, they're telling you if you've got a good price. My advice is buy it. If you like the color, if you like the mileage, if you like the year, if you like the make, if you like the model, and most importantly, if you like the price, it's only 6 things you can be coming in on. Buy it. I always ask my customers when they come in, based off of all the vehicles that you've looked at online, why did you choose this one? And it's kind of a trick question, and I use the word trick very, very open-ended. It's not so much a trick question. It's allowed me to get good information to help that customer out very well. But there's only 6 ways to answer it, and that is they like the year, they like the make, they like the model, they like the color, they like the mileage, and most importantly, the price. So it's always going to be one of those 6 things. So when you look at those 6 categories and you're like, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, it's very simple to say, I'm buying it. So the next thing is finding the salesperson that can help you accomplish buying a car in an extremely quick manner, an extremely low pressure environment, and a very ethical way of doing business. So there are websites out there. Cars.com just bought this website. I've been on this website for at least 10 years. I've been on this website, and it's called dealerator.com, DealerRater.com, Dealerator. Cars.com just bought them. And so basically what they do, and this is what I do with all my customers, and if any of my customers are watching, which they do watch, they will sit here and they can testify to this fact. After I sell a car, I have a very rigorous follow-up process that I do. And one of the things that I do, like on my second email, first email, I send out, I'm like, hey, would you mind writing a story based off your experience with me? And the very first one I send them to is DealerRater. So if you go to DealerRater, if you go to cars.com, you can sit there and look at the dealership reviews and find a salesperson who is repeatedly talked about by consumers. Now, to give you a little bit of insight on why I like DealerRater. DealerRater tracks everything. We're always tracked. This thing, probably listening to me right now. I have an Alexa above my vehicle, my projector up here. Alexa, stop, because she heard me say her name. So I do not have a Carbon 65. Sorry. So life is great. Hello. So with DealerRater, it shows you all those people. So most likely, if you have all of those salespeople or that salesperson being mentioned time after time after time after time again, therefore you are going to sit there and probably find a good salesperson to deal with. And then also the fact is, that salesperson has got something to gain for it. Number one, to make a business out of it. Number two, they are investing in themselves to have good reviews. And number three, they are sitting there and making sure that they take care of their customers. And most importantly, they're probably going to follow up with you and make sure that you're satisfied after you leave the dealership. So, I don't want to just sell a car to one person. And be honest with you, over the years of me selling all these vehicles on the internet, I think it's hurt me a little bit, because I don't have a chance of selling another vehicle to that person. Now, I've certainly onesies, twosies here and there have sold a customer a car that's in Texas multiple times. But the fact of the matter is they're not going to probably call me if they need a Chevy Cruze, plain and simple. Corvette, Camaro, something like that. Awesome. I specialize in that stuff. But I also sell a lot of used cars and a lot of Chevy Cruzes and Malibus and stuff like that. And they're simply just not going to probably call me because it's not cost effective, which is fine. So back to the Dealer Rater thing, is Dealer Rater watches the IP address that reviews are made from. So if they're reviewed from the dealership, that's a big no-no. So like I would never ask a customer, hey, you're waiting on the finance guy. Would you mind writing a review based off your experience? I would never ask a customer that question at the dealership, because I know how Dealer Rater does their stuff. And I put my dealership at risk of being blacklisted. And what they do is, like, this dealership has broken the rules, and they blacklist you and they make it a big deal, and they basically shame you into that stuff. So therefore, they track that stuff really, really well. If you're an employee of a dealership, that's not something that they want you to do. They don't want you, even if like you're a salesman at a Honda store and you come and buy a used car from me or anything like that, they don't want you writing a review. And I know that, so I can go to Google or something else to do that. Also, the chance of running into this is very, very unlikely. I actually sold a customer named Mike Davenport. His name is Michael Davenport here in Louisville, Kentucky. And he went to write a review, and he couldn't because I have the same name. So that was something new I ran into, because we have the same name. I don't know if that review got up there. I know he submitted a thing, says, hey, listen, my name's Mike Davenport as well. It's a coincidence, stuff like that. But I mean, in 18 years, I've never sold a Mike Davenport a car. So I've sold, and Mike's a very common name, and so is Davenport. So that goes hand in hand, that I probably should have, but it's taken me 18 years to do so. So let's talk about financing. Financing is a big portion of the dealership process. Typically speaking, the dealership's going to get you the best rate. So the best rates. I get asked this question way too early in the process, way too early in the process. That what's the rate on this? That's I don't know how to use this terminology or how to say this. That's like going up to somebody you meet in the bar. Say you're a single person, and everybody in this world's been single at one time. You're a single person. You see an attractive person at the bar, and you walk up to them and you say, "Hey, my name is so and so. Do you want to go to bed with me?" You just can't do that. It's the same analogy. I don't know how to put that properly or how to put that politically correct. I'm not a politically correct person. I'm pretty straightforward and blunt about a lot of things. So I don't want you to be offended by that, or any snowflakes out there. I don't want that to happen. But the fact of it is, you would never walk up to somebody and ask them to go to bed with you or to kiss you or anything like that. It just wouldn't happen, right? So it's kind of the same thing of asking rate to a salesperson up front. Number one, we don't know. There's many factors on interest rate right now. Again, 10 years ago, I could have answered the question a lot easier than I can now. Now what the government has got their hands into now is called risk-based financing. So if I have two 800 credit scores, say I got a husband and wife, and they're both 800 credit scores. The husband did a loan by himself, and the wife did a loan by herself on the exact same vehicle, on the exact same amount, on everything is exact same. Based off of several factors, the husband and or wife could have different interest rates. And it becomes, we don't know what these algorithms are from the bank. So this is not Blue Moon. I am in a Blue Moon glass, but this is Arnold Palmer iced tea. So lemonade and tea mixed together. You put vodka in here and you can it becomes a John Daly. So, Oh shit! Now I forgot where I was at. Thanks a lot. Who said Blue Moon? Life is great. Thanks a lot. You got me off track. So, so interest rates is where I was talking about. So, with that being said, what they look at is amounts of finance, how long you've been in the credit bureau, your income, obviously your credit worthiness of how often you pay your bills on time, stuff like that. So they look at all of this stuff, and they have this internal algorithm again that we're not looking at, that we're not privileged to, excuse me. And so I can't answer the interest rate. Nowadays, an interest rate, if I get you a brand new car and you put 20% down right now, a 3% rate, a low 3% rate is a great rate. August, when I bought my Tesla, I financed that originally, and I got like a 2.49 rate, I think. But you know, a 2.49 rate is almost gone now. I can't find that at all. So I have a customer that's getting like 2.99, and as a dealership, I can't beat that. So so right now in today's world, a low 3% rate is a good rate, where a year ago 1.9 was a good rate. So they've been raising rates. So it's a hard question to answer. So, and a big myth out there is when your credit is pulled multiple times, it hurts your credit score. It's not true in any way, shape, or form. It's a complete 100% video that I want to do. And the reason I haven't done that video is because I'm actually trying to get some more information to speak a whole lot more better on it, because I know what I have, but I really want to get somebody involved who is with one of the credit union or credit bureaus, or somebody who understands FICO a little bit better, stuff like that. And then also what you look at on like Credit Karma. You pull up Credit Karma on your phone compared to what lenders pull. Those are two totally different things. So those are multiple things. Those are a couple of videos I want to do, and I just trying to get more information to do it. I've probably wanted to do those videos probably well over 2 years now. But I'm just keep doing research to make sure that I push the correct information out there. But so those are your big things. So obviously the car that you're looking for, the salesperson you're dealing with, the bank that you want to work with, those are big factors into getting a car done. So the question is Mike, you've talked all this time. I've been on here for 22 minutes. My God, I talk way too much. 22 minutes, and literally I could have a car deal done right now with a customer. I set it up front that it's not a braggadocious, egotistical, none of that BS stuff, because it's not me. I'm just I try to be a humble person, and sometimes when you're on the internet, people will sit there and bash you and say that he's egotistical or he's bragging, and it's not the case with me in any way, shape, or form. Like to have fun, but I've never tried to like one up somebody or do something better. I'm a person that is very sports area oriented and very aggressive of winning, but to sit there and one up somebody, I've always told my kids that there's always somebody better. You know, you may have a fast car and brag about that car, but there's always somebody with a faster car. You may have a big checkbook, but there's somebody always out there with a bigger checkbook. I've always had that done. So Katala, sorry, I can't pronounce your name. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. So so a lot of that stuff has to just go with a lot of what we're doing in the car business. So literally, like I said a second ago, I could have a car deal done this quick when you have got your research done up front. And the research that comes in line, the trade, I've read about the trade too. So a lot of the research comes in line with using the proper tools. So knowing the proper tools and listening to somebody who's been in the business. I just had, and I know where this is coming from, but I'm in all these sales groups, and I had somebody who's brand new in the car business sitting there saying that people who say that they've been in the business for this long, they've been in the business for this long, that doesn't matter. It absolutely 100% matters of how long somebody's been in the car business. So, and it really is, there really is a threshold of being in the car business for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, so on and so forth, that sometimes these guys who've been in the car business for 30 and 40 years just are behind the times. They don't get it, you know? And it's funny, down to the littlest levels that I look at, because I'm so analytical on so many things, that I get down to these little itty bitty tidbits that I see people put carpet squares underneath tires on their showroom floor on the tile. And like, tile is so much better now that it doesn't stain, and I don't know why people do that. That's old school. And then you go to their About Me page and you look at their management staff, and they're all old. It's like, that's the type of things that I look at, and that's the type of things that is really interesting to me, how a dealership works. But so let's talk about trade-in. So with your trade-in, the trade-in is so important nowadays, and there's multiple ways that dealerships will say your trade is worth this, and there's what's called an allowance. Okay, an allowance is a made-up number. It does not matter. It means nothing to anybody at all except for the dealership and the customer to try to close a deal. An allowance is a scam. A trade allowance is an absolute piece of crap number that means nothing. Here's where I'm going with this. What you always want to ask a dealership is, what is my actual cash value? If you really want to throw the dealership for a loop, use the terminology ACV, actual cash value. It's a very common term inside the car business. If you sit there and you're talking to a salesman and says, hey, what's my ACV on my trade? They're going to know that you know some stuff in the car business. And that doesn't so much scare people. I actually love people who know about the car business because they know that I'm not pulling any strings. I'm not doing any goofiness. And it makes my job easier because I'll just talk to them straight up. I was like, hey, listen, you've been in the car business. I'm not pulling any strings. Let's just get this done and move on to the more important things. So actual cash value is what the vehicle is actually worth. Hence, actual cash value. That is what a dealership is willing to write a check for. If they're unwilling to write a check for your trade, you probably need to leave the dealership. Trade allowance is a made-up number, and it's made up from actual cash value, either rebates, dealer cash, discount in the vehicle, because maybe you've walked in there and you're like, I know Kelley Blue Book says $12,000, but I want 15. And the dealership has got rebates that they haven't really fully disclosed to you. And so they show you 12. And you're like, no, I need 15. You work the deal back and forth, and eventually they come to 15 to show you an allowance. Now, when that's all done, you look at them and you say, you know what? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to buy your car. I really don't like it anyways, but will you write me a check for $15,000 for my car? You're going to watch that dealership, what I say, backpedal. They're going to back up and say, oh, no, we don't buy cars. That's if you're just trading for one. An old school terminology was back in the day. Dealerships would go out and they would take a cardboard piece of paper and they wrote this: would you take cash for your vehicle? And they would put their name and number down there. So what they would do is they would get you into the dealership and they would give you a cash offer on your vehicle. And this is back in the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that, well before me being in the car business, and probably some in the 90s. You would, what in the dealership terminology, you would hit the ceiling, you would skyrocket, you jump up. Like, I would never take that much money for my trade. You guys are crazy. So I just hit the ceiling, right? I jumped up and I'm getting ready to walk out and, and stuff like that. And then the dealer employee says, wait. That's just my cash offer. If you want to trade it in, I might be able to give you more money. Bloop. Now the ears pop up, right? And so now you've caught that person's attention and they're like, oh, you're going to give me more money for my trade if I buy something? Because obviously if you're selling something, you need to buy something, right? You need to replace that vehicle. So that's where the allowance comes into, is basically what they've done is they have put bookends up. Here's a bookend. Here's a bookend. They know X dollar amount is not what you'll take, which is their bottom number, right? But you said, hey, I want $20,000 for my trade, and I'm offering you 12. Now we have the bookend set, right? So somewhere in the middle there, I'm going to try to get you to say yes. So with that being said, it's a game to play, and that's where I come in play, and why I've been so successful in the car business, because I just don't play games. I don't have time for them. I just, I've always envisioned when my kids were small, 5, 6, 7 years old. I'm out in Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or something like that, and I'd come across a customer, and And they would look at my kid and say, your dad is a scumbag. He stole from me. He's a horrible salesman. That's what I envisioned in my head when my kids were little. So, and just last night, I'm sitting at the bar having a beer, and right across the way from me is a customer of mine, and we're friends on Facebook. So I get on Facebook Messenger and I text her hi with a wave emoji. And she looks around. She goes, what the hell is this dude doing? This is a customer that I talk to every once in a while. And I'm crossing. I'm like, I start waving at her, and she sees me, and she's there. So, I run into my customers all the time, and especially for dealerships in small towns, they're going to run into their customers more than, me being in a town of 1.2 million or 1.1 million or whatever is in Louisville here. But so that's huge to run into your customer and make sure you treat them right after the fact, and you're treated professionally afterwards. So the JSN, they did, back to the finance thing, you can go to a local bank, but you or me walking into a bank, I was going to say this and I forgot, you or me walking into a bank, we're giving them $15, $20, $30, $50, $60,000 loans of loan work. But I can go to that exact same bank as a dealership, sending them $1 or $2 or $3 million per month, and I can get better rates than you walking into the dealership. Chase is a prime example. If I walked into Chase, I'm just making the number up here, but if I walk into Chase and say, hey, I want to borrow $50,000, okay, Mr. Davenport, you have an 800 credit score, you pay all your bills, not a problem. We're going to give you a 3.9% interest rate. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I go to the dealer and I say, hey, listen, I got 3.9% interest rate through Chase. Can you do any better? Yeah, actually, we can go 3.49 through Chase for you, because they send more business to Chase, and Chase gives them better rates. It's just supply and demand and stuff like that. Reward loyalty and multiple millions of dollars of business per month. So not always can that bank does, but and one big thing too is when you call a bank, you're like, hey, what's your best rate? That's not the right way to do it either, because they're going to tell you what the best rate is, but what they're not telling you is that best rate is on a brand new car with 20% down, or you got to be at 80% loan to value is what it is. So it's 80% under MSRP. So whatever that dollar amount is, you have to be under that, all that stuff. So there's a lot of little asterisks by a lot of that stuff when you call the banks. And if you're looking at a used car and they just quoted you a new car rate, that kind of comes in goofy as well. I do believe they did, JSN. I believe they did. So Chevy Guy 03, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But I think they did, because GM's number one, right? I don't think Volkswagen was number one. I think General Motors was number one. But I really don't pay attention to those numbers much until I want to create a video and do a video and stuff like that, and create good content. That's when I start doing the research, because let's be honest with you. I mean, what is it to me that if Chevrolet sells 1 million more cars than Ford, or 1 million less than Toyota, or whatever, it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Certainly, I would like to have 1 million more sales in the country, because that's like maybe 1 or 2 for me, or 5 or 10 for the dealership. But reality, knowing the numbers doesn't affect me at all. I don't think it does. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm by no means am I an economist or a mathematician by any means, by any way, shape, or imagine. But I think who cares really? But so I think and I'll probably do this video again. But I just wanted to put out a live video and interact with you guys, and some of these questions are coming in so quick, but or comments or whatever. But I wanted to just do a video real quick live with you guys, because I thought it was cool. I haven't done it before. YouTube has actually had problems with their live platform, and I was watching Cletus McFarland's YouTube live video the other day, and he has so many followers, and it's just amazing content that he puts out, and the amount of people that just came on right away and was interacting with him was so cool. So 150K plus Chevy Guy 03, 94 Chevy, I love it. But if you're in the area, if you're in Louisville, if you're driving through, had multiple people do this, feel free to stop by, say hi to me. I really appreciate it. Just like I've said before, I'm there working, so if I'm with a customer, just be patient with me. I'll never be rude to anybody. I may be short just because sometimes I have 2 and 3 people at the dealership buying cars at one time. So it's like I'm scatterbrained and I'm running all over the place, and I can be very focused on watching and dealing with 3 people at one time buying cars. But the fact of it is you've got to be really focused, and you can't let outside influences happen. So if something comes in there curveball wise and whatnot, that's what takes a toll on me doing my job. But that's the only thing I would say is I'll never be short with it, or I might be short with somebody just to say, hey, thanks for coming in and whatnot. But it's nothing to be rude. I promise you that 100%. So I think that's kind of a lot of the things. So I got to use, last year, William, absolutely. 2.99 last year would not have been a problem. I did the same thing with my Tesla. My Tesla's a 2013, and I got it with 2.49 or something like that. My Camaro before that, I had like 1.79. Maybe I had that. No, I don't. Yeah, I think 179 on my 15 Camaro when I bought that. So, the rates have definitely gone up. I saw something about 2020 ZR1. When do you think you'll get the ZR1 allocation for 2020, and about how many do you suspect the dealer might get? That, my friend, is going to come very, very soon. And I'll give you a little bit of tidbit. I want to do this. This is a video I've been working on. I've been coming up with content on it. Don't know if I want to say it. Stay tuned. I'll just say stay tuned, because I'm gonna give you my. Hold on, let me think a little bit more. Let me take a drink and think about this. I think I've said this enough on the phone with people. I think the ZR1 is a 1-year car. I don't think we'll see a 2020 ZR1 because I have a theory what's going to happen with the mid-engine car and the mid-engine car and the C8. I have a very good theory what's going on. I'm going to try to get this picture here because I took a screenshot because I thought it was pretty funny. Where'd it go? I take way too many pictures. This car popped up over the weekend, I think. I got tagged in it a lot. That it was, man, where'd it go? So this orange Z06 with a high wing came on it. And it was, I don't know who published it or whatever, but it was pushed out there a lot. And that was just an early prototype car. So I have some ideas on what they're going to do with the mid-engine and the C8. And I think this is a 1-year deal on the ZR1. L5Ps, I haven't had any issues with the L5Ps. Truck guy Joe is more involved with trucks than I am. I definitely do sell a lot of Duramax trucks, but I haven't had any customers with L5Ps. I've got an engineer on the L5P that I've sold a car to that I've gotten a lot of information from. I have one of my really good customers that I sold him a car when he was 16. His first car was 16, was a Camaro that I've talked to over the years. He's 21, 23 now, I think. So I've talked to him over the years, and he's really involved with those. So I don't think there's any issues with them that I've seen so far. You're a great example. They know. Thanks, Chevy Guy 03. I appreciate that. I'll answer something. So I'm in California. Can I buy my new 19 Trail Boss from you? You can buy your 19 Trail Boss from me, Robert. And the only issue is shipping to California on a full-size truck like that's going to be really, really expensive. You're talking like enclosed truck, like $3,000. But if you're wanting to buy a truck up front, which I have Trail Bosses on order, and I got extra allocations for Trail Boss trucks. So the issue is the cost to ship it out there. Now, I've got a customer who just bought a 2500, and he's going to fly out and then drive back to California. If you want to do that, perfect. My son's in San Diego, California. He gets out of the Marines next month, which this is, you kind of can see him in the corner there. That's him right there. He's going to drive back from California. I'm like, dude, just ship your car. I'll ship it. You fly back, but he doesn't want to. That's on him. He can drive. I'm not driving that. 32,000 miles on my L5P. I tow all the time. That's Truck Hire Joe. Yeah. He does drag race it, no problems. So yeah, there you go. There's 32,000 miles on an L5P engine, and like I said, he would know. And I appreciate you staying on this long, Joe. Oh my God, I'm at 40 minutes. God, I talk forever, guys. Sorry. When the new body style Silverado, when the new body style coming out for the Silverado, do you think the prices of older Silverados go down? If so, how much? I don't think they're going to go down. I think they're going to stay steady. The truck market is the most stable market out there. They always stay high. And when I did my 1,000,000-mile Duramax video, which somebody commented on that video today, is like, how many miles? I didn't it's because I said a million miles like a million times in there because I was doing Facebook Live, and people were asking me, "Is this really got a million miles?" So, but that vehicle still sold for $16,000, and it was a 1,000,000-mile car. So that tells you that the truck market stays up there so high. So and it's tough to sell used trucks because they stay so high that maybe for $5,000 or $6,000 you can go to a brand new one. So I don't anticipate them going down at all. What's the biggest difference between the two Trail Boss options? I have no idea. So that's more research I got to do. So the next video I've got coming up either Friday or Saturday night is going to be on the I don't have it wrote down in front of me. I should have wrote it down. I'm going to do the next trim level, and then Trail Boss I think is after that. I've got those videos kind of shot. I got to edit them. I've done some stuff on them. So I'm going to have that stuff up there. So make sure you just hit the subscribe button if you don't, and then I'll go over that. Congratulations, Mike, on your son becoming a Marine. Hoorah! Thank you. He's actually 4 years in. He's going to be done. He's four and done. 17 JS Sins got 17 L5P. I'd assume with 8,000 miles. Do you see the price of the C7 Corvette dropping when the C8 is announced? And is it a reason to wait to buy a C7? No, I don't think so. I'm going to do a video on when I think the C8 is going to come out and the mid-engine is going to come out and the announcements of them, where they're going to announce it and stuff like that. I got some pretty good insider information on some of that stuff. I have random people just text me all the time. It's like, hey, listen, you want to know this, or you got this picture, or whatever the case may be. And I don't really disclose a lot of it, but I'll plant seeds with some people and stuff like that. Jess Garcia asked at 709. He says, is it possible to buy a car directly from the manufacturer or only through a dealership? What is the point of offering all the options if the vehicles aren't even being built? So no, you can't buy a car directly from the manufacturer unless you're Tesla. Tesla's the only one that does that. The point of offering all the options, the vehicles aren't even being built. So the options are out there, and certainly dealerships are allowed to order whatever they want, because every car that comes in with General Motors, Subaru's a little different since I have a Subaru dealership, but since Silverados I can order whatever way I want, Cruises, Corvettes, whatever. We'll typically order the fastest one that sells excuse me, if I can say that right. We will typically order the trims and options that sell the fastest. So say you want a sunroof in an LT. I mentioned this in my last video. We typically won't put a sunroof in an LT because it's $1,200, and a lot of people just don't want sunroofs in trucks. So we won't order one. So if you come in like, hey, I want a sunroof, with me having like over 200 Silverados in stock, I probably am not going to have it because I'm trying to stock things that sell the fastest. So that's why. Just checked in this first part. I tried to have deal worked out and get stuck in business office for Brian. Yeah, I get that for an hour plus. So it's a Corvette video, next video or this video. Somebody said it right away. Tom Petrick said it right away. So I'm going to do it this video. So if nobody would have said it, I thought of that. If nobody would have said it up front, I was going to do it. But the good news is I can get another one of those right here. It's right here. I can get another one and give it away. And I didn't know I was going to do a live video tonight because I did not get my video edited. But Corey, get off there. Dog, you're jumping up on the couch. Get off. Thank you. So I didn't know I was going to do a live video. I got really busy today and wasn't able to finish editing the video to upload it. But with YouTube's algorithm, I've got to produce content. I've got to get content up. So I couldn't let that algorithm kill me. So I had to do something. So I was like, well, I'm going to be home at 7:00, so I'll just do a live video. And I was going to have a professionally edited. Mike Davenport edited how to buy a car in under 20 minutes. But I figured I could just talk about it, and I can still do it down the road. How many cars do you sell monthly on average? I don't disclose that, Carter. The reason I don't disclose it is I'm a little superstitious about, doing things and people taking it as a braggadocious comment. I sell a lot more than average, but I just worry about selling as many as I can every single month. And a lot of people are like, how many did you sell? How many you got out? I never No, I don't pay attention to that, but I sell a lot of cars. What is it like to be a Chevy service technician? Technicians in the whole across the industry is getting harder and harder to get good technicians. So if you can do the schooling and get good and get your ASE certified, you can sit there and make $100,000 as a technician in a good sized large dealership. What most people don't realize is technicians are a commission based business. So the more hours you turn for the dealership, the more you get paid. So you may get, I don't know what technicians get paid, to be honest with you. They may get like, so let's just make up a number. They said they get paid $20 per hour. Well, if you do an engine job that is 10 hours, well, that's $2,000 in your pocket, right? So because you get paid $20 an hour times 10. Am I doing my math right? Yeah, 2,000, right? Wait, see, I told you I'm not good at math. This is why, the teachers always said you'll never have a calculator everywhere you go. So $20 an hour times 10 hours, yeah, $200. See, I thought I was wrong. That's why I questioned myself. So $200. So you're going to earn $200 in doing that. But if it only takes you 5 hours to complete that job, you still get paid for 10 hours, right? But if it takes you 12 hours, you still only get paid for 10 hours. So that's where I say get your certifications and get good and stuff like that. If you're a specialty, yes, also we wrote diesel, I'm going to take the diesel tech. If you're a diesel tech, if you're stuff like that, that stuff's specialty and you get paid more and whatnot. So there are flat rates. Chevy guys, see you later, buddy. There are flat rates, technicians out there, but really you want to work somewhere on commission and get paid for what you're worth, in my opinion. I've when I got into sales, working commission, it was very, very scary. I failed the first couple of years. I did outside sales, selling advertising. I just failed flat miserably, really, really bad. Then I got in the car business and found out that it was a lot easier to sell somebody that was coming to me for a product rather than me going and trying to convince somebody to buy a product. So that's why I fell in love with it. And I just always told myself I was going to do it correctly and not scam people. So that's what I would do. I love commission-based jobs. I couldn't do anything other than commission-based right now. So yeah, flat rate. I think you do. So that's where I'm not very familiar with that. You should have a raffle for a real Corvette for buying your merch for 1 month, and you'll make good money and get subscribers just like Street Beats. Yeah, I know. I did. I kind of knew they were doing that, but forgot about it. And what's that, baby girl? So I forgot that they were doing that, and that's why I got good. Whew. This is my baby Corey. She's 2. So I forgot they were doing that, and then I felt stupid when I announced this Corvette, and I watched one. I was catching up on their vlogs, and they're talking about giving away, and I saw the guy in Tennessee get in the car, and I'm like, oh crap! So I felt kind of silly trying to make it look like I was copying them when I wasn't. It was something strictly, I had this laying around and in the house. I was like, I just need to get rid of it. So, good girl. So I do, and I'm thinking about something like that. Once I hit 100,000 subscribers, stuff like that. So I've got some ideas. I'm just trying to push and get more and more subscribers on it. So any details on the giveaway toy? I said that last video, Nate. So you should have been there on that. If your client wants something particular, can you order it? Yes, I can. So most of it's not so much now, but like I've got 2. If you go to my Facebook, my Chevy Dude Facebook business page, I put up a couple Camaros that just came in today. Those were special ordered for customers. So yeah, I can order special cars with no problem, providing that we're inside the manufacturer's guidelines. So my customer in California was ordering this 2018 Silverado, and lo and behold, we just missed the cutoff. So now he's getting the 2019. It is what it is. Volleyball season, it is going good. I actually played for a different team last night. And he knows that I'm playing volleyball. Oh, I did put it in my vlog one time. I Snapchat a lot. So if you're on Snapchat, you can look me up. I've been on Snapchat so long that it's literally just my name, Mike Davenport. So I've been on Snapchat from like day one. Never really did anything with it. And then, so now I'm on Snapchat all the time. So if you look up Mike Davenport, you can friend me and I'll friend you back. And, I'm always on there doing something. And Boost Kicks, I appreciate that. It means a lot. So, I sold, I've got a video. I've got some of the video shot that I was over at the Chrysler store yesterday selling another vehicle over at the Chrysler store. So that was cool. I sold 2 vehicles there in a really short period of time. So is there going to be a new video today, or is this Nate, this is the video here. I had to, I think I wasn't able to edit my video in time for the one I've got. And so I wanted to create content for YouTube's algorithm and get it on here. So I had to do a live video. So I've never done one. And YouTube has changed their live video platform a little bit. And it's made it a little bit easier, thank goodness. So I'm going to get some bad comments about this afterwards, the way I titled the video, but I most likely will let this video stay on the channel for a little bit and make it private or whatever, and then redo the video on how to buy a car under 20 minutes. So I said that all kind of up front in the first 20-25 minutes or so of the video. When I'll do another video, more edited, streamlined, talking about how to buy it. I didn't storyboard this at all. Before I tore this piece of paper up, I started out saying, these are the notes. I've been putting notes on stuff lately. These were the notes that I took for this video, and I was just strictly going off the cuff because this is not a video that I was going to produce for today. It was going to be next week video, but I figured I can do it off the cuff. I sell enough cars and I can talk about this stuff. So beginning of the video talks more about how to buy a car under 20 minutes. But it's really, really simple, just getting things done. Chad, yes, they do still use Mobile One on the vets. Believe it or not, early 14s did not use Mobile One. I don't know the real reason why they started using Mobile One again. I would imagine because of customers. But if you look at the cap, it still says Dexos on there. They've never changed the cap. Can you bargain when leasing a car? Do they have a strict prices for the lease cars? No, you can bargain on a lease car, but leasing a car is different than buying a car. So say you've got you're looking on the dealership's website, and you can use ours, for example, BachmanChevrolet.com. If you look at that website and we've got $40,000 for this truck, and we're taking $13,000 off, so it's $37,000 or whatever I just said. I don't even remember. Oh, 27,000, whatever I said. I don't even know what I said. So if we took $13,000 off, a lease, you may only get like $7,000 off because lease is such a shorter term. And a good rule of thumb is if you purchase a car, strictly bank note, $20 for every $1,000 that you finance. So if you buy a $20,000 car, you're going to have a $400 payment. So what you need to do on a lease is that same $20,000 car. I'm going to kind of show you on the calculator. If you take that same $20,000, okay, you have to divide that by 2. Oops, yeah, I did it right. $10,000, and then times 0.30. And you'll have like a $300 payment. I still did it wrong. Hold on, let me do this again. $20,000 car divided by 2 times 30 is, it's $300 car. I don't know why the math's not working. I told you earlier I'm not good at math. Dealership math I'm good at, but just doing stuff off the cuff, I got to think about it. So Chevy guy, shoot me a text on my website, ChevyDude.com. You'll get a response from my assistant, but I'll see the text. He'll respond first, and then I'll be in there talking to you. Paying cash for a car, Jason. If you want to pay cash for a car, go for it. So I typically will finance cars for short term because I buy cars off the cuff. I don't think through it, and then pay it off as I like. Okay, I'm good on financing, or I need to cancel this out or cash this out or whatever the case may be, and then just pay cash for it afterwards. But there's nothing wrong with paying cash for a car. You do not get a better deal for paying cash. Let me tell you that right now. Everybody, that still is a huge misnomer to this day. But you get a better deal for paying cash. So back in the 70s, interest rates were like in the 25% range and stuff like that. Well, the dealership would have to buy the loan at 25%, but they could only write the loan at 21%. So they're losing money. So if you paid cash or went to get the money on your own, they'd give you a better deal. So that's where that came from. When I got my Accord, did all the financing stuff before I walked in the dealership and was out in an hour. Yes, correct. That's it. And you can do that. Sometimes that costs you a little bit of money. because dealerships can get you better interest rates, but there's nothing wrong with sitting there and just having all your ducks in a row, because you can do so much research nowadays beforehand, and get all that research done beforehand. And that's where I'm saying you can buy a car in under 20 minutes is it's true. Yeah. I paid cash for my 2000. It's true. Yeah, absolutely. So so you can do so much research up front. That's where if you do the right research and use the right salesperson, the right dealership, you can get a car deal done in no time. So when financing through the bank, how does it go about through the dealership? Like, what is the process, and what would be a good APR rate, and all that for a first-time buyer? And that's a totally different video on a first-time buyer. I did a video on that. I did that video. What it's like buying a car. What it's like buying a car through a dealership on loan or something. I titled it that way. But first-time buyers are tricky because you got to convince a bank to trust you. And all the bank does is look at a piece of paper and say, yeah, I trust you. No, I don't. And that's how they do it. You and me conversing one-on-one, hearing a story and stuff like that, I get it 100%. But the banks just simply don't care. They're looking at a risk management algorithm, and they say, yes, this fits our algorithm. No, this doesn't, and they make a decision that quick. But there's a thing called a phone, and I can call and pick up and talk to a buyer at a bank and say, hey, listen, blah, blah, blah. The key thing to buying a car in the first time car buying process is keep your, payment to income is one thing. So that's what your payment is relative to your income. I think a lot of banks are wanting like 15%, 10%, stuff like that. But the big thing is having longevity at your job. Don't walk in here a month after you got your new job and expect to get a car loan if you've never done it before. It's going to be tough. Secondly, having money down. If you've got 20% down or more, that is huge for a bank. Banks become blind when you have lots of equity. You could have a 500 credit score. If you come in with 10 grand down on a $15,000 car or $25,000 car, and you have 10 grand down, that's almost 50%. You are probably going to get financed. Probably going to be a high rate, but you can get financed. So every state is different on what they can cap a rate at. So like in Kentucky, 18% on a new car and like 23, I think, on a used car. So every state's cap on the interest rate is different. So it's kind of a hard question to ask. It's all cash to the dealership. Yeah, you're right. When you buy a car, it's all cash to us, regardless if it's cash, check, credit card, or a bank contract. It's all cash. We all get the same money. Is the 2019 crew cab still slated to start production in January? I did an update on that video. I was kind of off on that. It was speculation as I put in that video. I've already ordered 2019 crew cab trucks, the next generation body style, and I think we'll see those late third quarter, early fourth quarter. So we're good. What percentage is the subprime loan market today? I don't know. I don't deal with a lot of subprime buyers, so I kind of stay away from them, because what a lot of people don't know is a subprime buyer, when we get the loan, when we get you a loan, we get sometimes assessed with a fee for writing that loan, and we can't pass that on to the buyer, and that comes out of the profit of the dealership, which I do get paid profit on used cars. And so I have a little bit of a mental block of paying $1,000 fee to the bank and me not getting paid on that $1,000 because you didn't pay your payments. Again, just being truthful and being honest. I'm not being talking down to anybody. I'm not doing anything like that, because that's not my style. But I always want to be careful with YouTube and the internet that somebody takes that out of proportion and just goes off the deep end, because that's not me. I'm very, very, very straightforward. So I really don't deal a lot in subprime, but I would say 20% is that number. When you have what's called a risk-based financing, they kind of show you where everybody falls in. I think it's 20 to 30%. But I don't do a lot with subprime. My average credit score on people that I pull credit on, so if there's a cash buyer, I don't pull credit on them. But if I pull credit on somebody, my average credit score is 720. So I deal with a lot of prime buyers. Are the 2019, okay, I answered that. What percentage? My advice is have at least 20% down. Absolutely. I agree 100%, Blue. bird's eye video. Is it possible to get a decent car loan with credit in the high 500s? It is. There's strategy of buying a car. There's a strategy behind buying a car with challenge credit, and I've done this before. I'm gonna see if I can get this video up here. But there is a strategy behind buying a car with bad credit. So there's like 4 things how to buy a car from the other 4 tips. Here we go. So I'm gonna see if I can share this video. Maybe the new, hold on one second, the new algorithm for behind the scenes of Facebook Creator makes it a little difficult. Here we go. I got it. So I'm gonna share this link. This is a unpublished link. So this is how to buy a car with challenged credit. So if you want to watch this video, you can do so. And that video that I just put there, how to buy a car with challenged credit, that's going to tell you the 4 tips to get a loan with challenged credit. And I think I say in this video, I haven't watched this video in a long time. This video is like 2 years old. And again, I utilize it for people who are that I'm working with, that I made this video. I'm like, here, just watch this and do everything I tell you. So there's always a few keys to buying a car. You gotta check your ego at the door. You gotta sit here and be like, hey, listen, my number 1 goal is to get good, reliable transportation to and from work, taking the kids to soccer practice, whatever the case may be, your daily routine. Secondly, a car that's going to be maintenance free, breakdown free, stuff like that. I said a good, reliable, dependable transportation, something that's affordable, something that fits your wants and needs, and most importantly, building your credit so you can come back next time, which I want it to be for me. You come back next time and you can get whatever you want, and Mike Davenport doesn't have to decide the car for you. So when you and this is an analogy I like to use, and I use this with my customers and whatnot. I always tell them, I was like, when you pay your bills and you do everything right credit wise on time, you pick the car. If you don't, I may have to pick the car. I say may, not I will always have to, but I may have to pick the car simply because I know what the bank's guidelines are. I know what they're doing, and I can guide you down the right path to do those 4 things. Like I said, good, reliable transportation, affordability, build credit, all that good stuff. So that's the key things of doing that. Wish they still made the SS. I wish they made the SS Trailblazer still as well. I agree. Would you recommend a previous generation Impala? Under the right circumstances, yes. I'm not a big fan of the old Impala. SRT JG, thank you. See you later. How much business do you do on the Colorado ZR2? That business is slowing down. I've sold 10, 12 of them, something like that. So ending a lease early with equity in the truck. Ending a lease early with equity is pretty rare, so it'd be pretty impressive to see that. A lease is designed for you to make, if you sign a 36-month lease, it's designed to make 36 payments and not one less, and obviously not one more. The exception to that one less would be if I am your salesperson and I call you and like, hey, listen, I can get you out early with no penalty. GM's were in a special. They're going to pay your last 3-month payments. That's when it becomes advantageous to you. So can you talk about dealer market fees such as doc stamp fees and other fees in the contract? So doc fees are really a necessary evil with when they're in reason. A $600 and a $700 doc fee in my area is excessive. So my dealer fee at my dealership is $299.50. If you're a GM employee, if you're military, stuff like that, these are GM guideline rules that we have to discount that to $75 total dealer fee. So you gotta be careful with swap lease. So there's companies out there who will not let you go state to state. So like I'm living in Kentucky, I can't do with GM Financial. I can't sit there and get somebody in Indiana to take over that lease. So you have to be careful on that swap lease. Swap lease is a great company. I've used them many times, but you have to be careful with the leasing company. So with GM Financial, you have to be in the state. They won't let you change states. stupid. But dealer doc fee, thank you for saying reasonable fee, because nobody ever says it's a reasonable fee, even though I agree that it is. So $299.50 is our dealer fee. And what that does a lot of stuff. So like we pull Carfaxes on everything. We pull, we have to do title search. We have to do everything like that. And I haven't done a video on this because I don't know really how to do it. But I will tell you this. We just bought a Dodge Ram off of someone who walked into the dealership and said, "Hey, will you buy my Dodge Ram?" Sure, we did. It was a $50,000 truck, and we can't get a title for it. Well, I sold it. And we can't get a title for it. So we wrote a check back to that customer because he can't title his vehicle. That's on us. That's our responsibility. So now we have this truck sitting outside of our dealership, out back of our dealership now for 4 months. And the market changes on that truck. Hopefully it hasn't, but the market's changing on that truck. And, we take that risk. So that $299.50 goes a long way of getting title searches, keeping your information secure. We have a lot of red tape because I take a social security number on every single person who buys a car, regardless if you pay cash or you finance. I'm taking your social security number. So therefore, with that being in there, and I'm taking your social security number, now I got all sorts of guidelines of keeping things safe. And if you have anything out there, I'm getting emails every single day from providers that we use that we have to sit there and they're all updating their guidelines based off of this government thing. So we have to sit there and worry about that. So I think the dealer fees are there. Bank fees, you typically don't have too many bank fees anymore. There's a prepaid finance charge. Some banks have them, some banks don't. There's a VSI charge. VSI is an insurance for someone who doesn't pay their bill. It's like an insurance that you pay on every deal. But there's not too many bank fees, usually a couple $100 in bank fees, but many banks don't have the fees out there. So thanks for the info. I'm looking to buy an SS Camaro manual and was wondering if it's even possible with credit in the high fives. So that's something we need to talk about off camera or off YouTube. But I would say, you have to walk before you crawl. And if you have to get into a Chevy Cruze to build your credit up, and 2 or 3 years later down the road, you buy the Camaro SS, that's the right way to do it. It sucks. I get it. I understand that. I'm not blind to that you came in and wanted a Chevy Camaro and I have to sell you a Chevy Cruze or a Chevy Malibu. But the key is nothing's forever. And if you're in a Chevy Malibu for 3 years and you prove that you can pay your bills and your credit score goes up, which, by the way, the best way to build your credit is with an auto loan. And then in 3 years you come and get the Camaro, it's going to be well worth it. So that's where I kind of come in play, where I try to help out my clients in every case, in every scenario. And that's where the longevity in the car business helps out and does a lot of things. So that's why I say in that video that I posted up there a little bit that you have to be flexible. You have to come in with an open mind and you can get somebody to trust. I have a 2-year-old vehicle I hate. 17,000 KBB's 15, 809 credit score. Can you get me into something new, lease or buy, with 0 out of pocket? So KBB is usually really good. So you can text me your VIN and the mileage of the vehicle. If it's a Chevrolet, I can pull all the options. Or if it's a General Motors vehicle, I can pull all the options. If it's something else, I may have to ask you a few more questions. But literally, I pay. Ooh, I don't know if I want to say that. I'm not going to say that because I don't know who at work watches me. So I have access that I can just appraise your car at the dealership, and I can sit there and appraise it within just a couple minutes and tell you what it's worth and kind of show you what the market is and stuff like that. So yes, with an 809 credit score, you can do whatever you want to do with credit. They'll typically do things. They'll typically loan more money on a car, stuff like that. But if it looks like you have, here's my take on this. So when someone comes in and says they owe $17,000 car, but my car's worth $15,000, I automatically deduct $3,000 from that. So your car is really worth $12,000, and you owe $17,000, so you have $5,000 negative equity. That's the way I look at things every single time, because 18 years of selling cars, I see a lot of different scenarios. I see a lot of different things. I look at everything. I'm very honest, as you guys know. So looking at that, I sit there and really look at things and look way beyond a statement of someone. And that's really the truth is you're probably really worth 13 or 12 or 14,000. And you might be 100% right. You might be worth 15. I had another salesperson's customer sit there the other day, and I told her this almost the exact same thing. I know you just bought your car. Don't hate me. I'm just stating the facts, what I would say to my own client, and to help you and guide you down the right path to whichever way you want to go. She just bought a car a couple months prior, and I said, you're probably going to take a $5,000 hit on that vehicle. Well, she only took about a $2,500, $3,000 hit. And I told her up front, now, if we're at $5,000 or $6,000 hit on that vehicle depreciation, then you know up front. But you know what? If you're only $2,000 or $3,000, then Mike, you were wrong. It's only $2,000. Perfect. But if I tell you $1,500, $2,000, and it's $5,000, then you're pissed off at me. But if I tell you $5,000 or $6,000 and it's really only $3,000, now you're like, woohoo, we're better than what you thought. Which I'm all for. I love being wrong in that situation, but I want to set you up with the mindset of every dealer does this, or not every dealer. A lot of dealers do this. Oh, come in, we'll work it all out. I'm not that type of person. I'm straightforward, telling you to the point, blunt, or maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be wrong in a bad way. I'll be wrong in a good way to your favor. So, customer says, hey, I want a $300 car payment on this $40,000 car, and you call them up, and like the salesman be like, yeah, come on in, we can get that done. Click, and you come in, it's an $800 car payment. You're pissed. It's never happened to me. I wouldn't do that. I would tell you up front. You can't get a $40,000 car for $300 a month. You better triple that to about $800 a month. So, I agree. I can't pay cash. Okay. Nice Camaro, man. I'll never go to Ford. I don't think I will either. Appreciate the lease advice. I say equity because I leased for 15,000 miles a year and I have 14 payments left. Only have 14,005 miles on it. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. So you can always look at it. And like I said earlier, you can always look at it and say, hey, listen, I can do this. But see, a lot of times lease companies won't let you out early. So like if you're with GM Financial, it just happened yesterday too, by the way. So this is something that's a real live thing. 2000, this is 2016 Chevy Malibu. I sold this car for $28,000. Because she is more than 365 days from lease maturity, the buyout on this car was like $24,000. It was a crazy asinine deal because a lot of these leasing companies have residual insurance, so they cannot collect on the residual insurance if they don't take the lease to term to a certain amount. So it's crazy to do that. So don't sell your cars to CarMax. Please don't sell your cars to CarMax. Go to a local dealer, support your local dealers. CarMax is a big conglomerate. They do not do anything good for the community of the car business. I don't badmouth many people. I badmouth CarMax. I hate them. Why do you think they're a butt of all vloggers' jokes when they take and they waste their time on taking their modded cars and see how much they're worth? Street Speed 717 just did it. Several people do it because it's a huge joke in the industry, and they know that it's just getting good content on YouTube, and just CarMax is a bad company. I'm not a fan of CarMax in any way, shape, or form. I love them being across the street, but you're just drinking the juice of not, we don't negotiate, blah, 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 blah. I have seen many times that I can sell you a brand new car to their 2-year-old rental car for the same price, if not cheaper. So I do love CarMax across the street because I show that a lot to people. Dealers, at least here, never give what CarMax does. My dad went to the trade his 14 Silverado. Chevy offered 15. CarMax offered 22. Sometimes CarMax does do goofy things, but that's where I kind of talked about at the beginning of looking at things. So I didn't mention it earlier. I'll mention it in my edited video of using Kelley Blue Book Trade-in Marketplace. This is old school. Auto Trader, it used to be Auto Trader Trade-in Marketplace. Now it's Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Value. So you can go to Kelley Blue Book and get an instant cash offer on your car, and they'll tell you what it's worth. So that's a good way to find out really what a car's worth, actual cash value on stuff. When do you think the C7 Corvette Grand Sports are going to be in the low 40s with under 30,000 miles? Probably never. 10 years from now, maybe a little bit less, 8 years from now. What's the best way to do business with you if we are out in the state of California? So really easy. Pick up the phone, call me, and say, hey, I want to buy a car. Agree to pay $5,000 over sticker. Allow me to do. No, I'm just joking. So easiest way to buy a car in California is really just to call me. Tell me what you're looking for. Let me see what we can got. If you have a trade-in, sell it on your own. It's not advantageous for you to have a trade-in and then ship it back here because somebody's paying for shipping. And just to be honest, I'm not paying for the shipping. So if your car is worth $10,000 and it costs me $2,000 to get it back here, I'm going to give you $8,000 for your car. So it's best for you just to sell your car out there to somebody. If it is to CarMax or if it's to a dealer or whatever the case may be, it's best to do it out there. But really, when you're dealing with me on a car deal, it's just like you're dealing with the next door, and you don't have to go into the car dealership. I'm going to overnight you all the documents to sign. It's very, very simple. You send them back. I ship the car right to your front door. It's really, really that simple. So I've literally done car deals in like 10 minutes. Just because of that. Hey, Mike, I want to buy this car. What can you price this car for me for? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let me build it. Boom, boom. I'm building it because I have access to all the build stuff. I'm building it. Hey, listen, I can do it for this price. Hey, Mike, that sounds good. That's the best price I've gotten. I want to deal with you. Boom, like literally 10 minutes. So let's say in a year from now, I have 5 months left on my lease. Can you cut a good deal on a new 2SS Camaro with all the options? 5 months, you're probably pretty close to being able to help you out. Again, a lease is designed to go to full term, with the exception if the manufacturer is running a special, you getting out of your lease early. So sometimes there's a $2,000 rebate or something for non-General Motors leases. So if you're leasing a Toyota or an Acura or Ford or whatever the case may be, and they want you to come over to Chevy and they give you $2,000, well, if your lease payment's $200, or let's say $500 and you got 5 left, that's only $500 you're eating. So it could be advantageous. Mike, what do you think about all these people on YouTube going to Copart? Well, my buddy Sam down in Florida, Sam Crack, which he's been a long time subscriber on my channel, and hey, see ya, Joe. He's really putting this out there, and I didn't tell this anybody. I was actually trying to buy a salvage title flooded Z06 for the channel. I was hoping to buy them real cheap, but I've watched all this stuff at Copart just go up in value because consumers are going on there. So really, it's going to be a thing right now that the values of these salvage vehicles are just going to go up. Some people are getting burnt on them because they don't know what to look for. If you go out there and look for some Teslas on YouTube, you'll find that some people are buying Teslas and then sending them back through Copart, and that is they've removed the batteries from them. So you as a consumer buying that car, you have no idea the batteries are gone because it's not disclosed, and you're buying a car as is, whereas that if you get that car and it's in 2 pieces when you get it, congratulations, you own both pieces. You can't go back to them and say, hey, listen, I can't do this. It's all buyer beware on those. So it takes the right person to buy things. I buy cars at auction all the time, and I flip a few cars on my own and stuff like that. I buy cars at auction all the time and sell them on my own and whatnot. But it's a risky business. So it's not all it's glamour to be when you see car dealers doing this and that and that. There's risk. So people say they lose money on car deals. They really do lose money on car deals. What do you think about American car manufacturers can do to get the resale values closer to some of the imports? Well, like Honda and Toyota, they lease most of their cars, so they can control those numbers. So it's just all a numbers game. It's really all it is. So they all lose the money. They're buying them. They're controlling their own market. So what happens is, I guess I'll say this. I've said this for a while. If Corvette didn't sell 1,000 Corvettes a year and discount them 13%. Our Corvette values would be much higher. If those top 5 Corvette dealers didn't, if they didn't just cheap sell all their cars, the Corvette market would be higher and higher and higher on the used car side of trade-in. But when you can sit there and buy a brand new Z06 for 13% off, and you have a 1 or 2 year old car that you want to trade in to go to the next model up, now your car's going to lose value because I can go buy a new one for 13% off, where your car's got to be able to, I got to be able to resell it to somebody to not have it advantageous for them to buy a used car. Whoever is calling me from Miami, I will call you back. I am doing a Facebook live video or YouTube live video. So that's going to be advantageous for that. So they control their own market, where I think the top 5, top 6 Corvette dealers really control the market of the used car values because they're cheap selling the new ones. So they sit there and dictate the used car market as well. If you look, I don't think Corvette even takes trade-ins. If they do, they're very rare. But I see a lot of times, I hear from people, I've never dealt with them individually, but I've heard from people that they don't take trade-ins. So I understand. Are there still tax breaks for trading in versus cash down? So there is no tax breaks for cash down. So in a nutshell, when I say this, you're like, oh yeah, duh. So if I'm a cash buyer and I pay you 100% cash, that means I pay no tax. That's not true. So that's a way around tax if you just pay cash. So you got to pay cash regardless if you lease the car or anything like that. There's tax breaks if you lease cars, but providing that the state gives tax credit, then yes. So if you have a $20,000 car that you're buying and you have a trade-in worth $10,000 and that state gives tax credit, then you only pay tax on $10,000 rather than paying tax on $20,000. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Sell your car at CarMax. They'll take their check and walk across the street to your local dealer. Can do that here. Yeah, and also CarMax does not give you a check. They give you, what's that called? They give you I'm drawing a blank. They don't give you a check. They give you, why am I drawing a blank? Anyways, they basically give you a voucher to go to the bank. And then once that clears, that's when that money's good. So it usually takes 10 days to get your money from CarMax. So unless they've changed that, then that's the last time I saw that. So can you talk about the 2020 Silverado 2500? I can, but I don't know much about it because they haven't released a whole lot of information. I don't know a whole lot about it. So hey, Mike, I'm looking to upgrade to the 2019 Silverado from a 2002 Sylvie. I like that Sylvie. I've never called it a Sylvie. Just waiting for pricing and the option to order a crew cab standard bed truck. I'll be looking to you when that time comes. Well, the good news is standard cab, which is the 5.5 foot bed. You can order that now. I've ordered plenty of them, the crew cab and all. Pricing's not out yet. I had someone mistakenly tell me that pricing on Silverado was going to go down. So I'm like, well, that's cool. And they're like, oh, shoot, who did I just tell that to? You didn't hear that from me. I said, I didn't hear it at all. I'm not going to tell anybody on YouTube that Silverado pricing is going to be cheaper than the current model. However, after I looked into it more and more, Z71 is now an option where if you look at a 1LT truck to a 1LT truck, it may be cheaper, but you're going to spend the money on a Z71 option and stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to be any cheaper. I think it's going to be about the same price. I was given a check when I sold my car to them, maybe because it was paid off though. So they might have changed that. So like I said earlier, I'm not too proud to be wrong. I'll be wrong any day of the week. The 3.0 Duramax has me doing Tim the two-man Taylor. I've been on here like an hour and 22 minutes, so I probably need to get off. And the dogs want to go on a walk. We usually go on a walk at 8 o'clock, and they've been running around down here saying, Dad, let's go on a walk. What's the best way to do business? I asked to answer that. I sold a CarMax 2. What do you think? Answered that. Let's say in a year from now, answer that. Why don't you get a Silverado? I'm not actually a truck driving person. I love the trucks. I was just telling this to a customer today. I got a good customer who follows me on social media, and they have a 2003. Who's your bunny rabbit? 2003 Avalanche that they're getting ready to get out of, and they came in tonight to drive a high country Silverado and a Suburban. And there's been many times that I wish that I did have a truck, but I'm not an everyday driving type truck person. I like sports cars. I like driving fast. I like the feel of a sports car. So that's why I wish I did have a truck at times, but it's just to sit there and buy a $50,000 truck and have it set in my driveway so I can go to Home Depot or Menards or whatever once in a while. Just it's just not worth it to me. So that's why. Hopefully I answer that. Have a great night, Mike. Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it. So Hey, 94 people on here still, so I really appreciate all 93. No, someone just got off. I really appreciate all 93 of you now. 94, someone came back. So I really appreciate all of you. Really appreciate you being on. Some people were on here for the whole thing. I can't believe you gave me an hour and a half of your night. So thank you so much. Truck Guy Joe, good friend of mine. His wife is awesome. I love those two. I've met them a couple times up at the call outs. I'm gonna try to get to the next call out. Hey, check out ChevyDudeShop.com. Buy some of my stuff. Support me. If you're on Amazon, click the link in my description and support that as well. If you just click that link and buy stuff, it supports me. So it helps me out a lot. So I really appreciate it. Go Lightning. I don't know, Lightning, like the Facebook or the hockey team. Thanks for the help, man. Thank you for the shirt, Mike. Oh, you're welcome. Hope you like it. That's why I knew that name, Tanner. Yes, you were one of the first people on my contest. So I will. I'm not going to announce anything for the next video. I think I might give 2 of these away. I think it's unfair. I'm gonna give this one away to the next person. And if there's a bunch of people who answer it on the next video, which there probably will be because people like put it on there all the time. But I may give 2 of these away because I want to be fair. I'm a very fair person. I don't want to slide anybody. I don't want to do anything goofy or anything like that. So I'll think about it and I'll decide. I definitely don't want anybody saying, I'm going to sue you or anything like that because I ain't got any money anyway. So, but no, I really appreciate everybody being on here. Thanks again for watching, and please share the video. Tell your friends to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Big thumbs up. We only got 83 thumbs up. It tells me right here. So we need to get more thumbs up. So everybody hit thumbs up. All 82 people in here, hit thumbs up. Let's see that go to 160 right now. So there we go. 88. There we go. Keep going. Keep going. We need to get to 160. Thumbs up. So again, thank you so much. There we go. 95. There we go. See, I know you guys can do it. 101. There we go. I like it. I like it. Let's get to 160. So thanks again. I really, really appreciate it. I'm being redundant now because, I always talk about off the cuff stuff. I don't script anything. I don't script many of my videos. When you see me have notes in my hand, that's when I'm really just making sure I got good content. So again, thank you so much. This is really, really fun that you are part of my channel and that I can converse with you guys and meet people, and I have people come to the dealership to say hi. So it's really fun and exciting for me. And I try to bring that fun and excitement to you as well. And like I said at the beginning of the video, just show people that buying a car doesn't have to suck, and showing that there's more good car salesmen out there than there are bad. So again, thank you guys so much. Share the video, subscribe, get your friends to subscribe. Let's get to 100K subscribes because I really want to do something huge for 100K. If it's giving away a real vehicle, even if it's something I can only afford, like a Chevy Cruze or something, I really thank you so much. Everybody have a fantastic evening and drive safely.